Hello guys and welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video, you know what? Ninjago Season 16 came out and I had this massive video that was like 32 minutes long. I can't believe how long that video was. I can't believe how much I just talked about Season 16 of Ninjago. And here's the crazy thing. In that specific video, I didn't even get to talk about everything I wanted to discuss. Something that I really wanted to do was I wanted to actually discuss certain characters, specific characters, and my personal thoughts on these characters. And I decided with that video being way too long that it was better just to do a separate video about it. And indeed, I actually think that, yeah, I'm actually going to make a couple of these talking about certain specific characters of Ninjago and giving my deep dive thoughts on these specific characters. In today's video, we are going to be talking about none other than the Ice Ninja himself, the nindroid of all nindroids. We are talking about ZANE. But I can't talk about ZANE without bringing up, of course, PIXAL. So today's video will actually be talking about both PIXAL and ZANE. Mostly ZANE, but there are a few things I want to talk about PIXAL as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, ZANE and PIXAL, you know what, if I was doing a top 10, I think these two would probably be number 6 and number 7. ZANE being number 6, PIXAL being number 7. These two are, of course, adorable together. I absolutely love their little story. Now, ZANE, looking at just ZANE actually is a really interesting character, and I'm telling you, if you're wanting to get anyone into Ninjago, you know, Ninjago is pretty much a quote-unquote kid show. It's a kid show. And I gotta say this. Considering the first couple of seasons, within the first 4 seasons of Ninjago, it's very, very child-friendly. It's a child show. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of depth that they add to mostly ZANE during the first couple of seasons of Ninjago. ZANE, while he is not the main character of the show, he actually probably is the character with the most character development, even more than Lloyd at times in the early seasons of Ninjago. His story is actually really interesting and really great to follow. In fact, the only reason why ZANE isn't higher on my list, and when it comes to the main 6 ninja, he's number 5 for me. The only reason why he's not higher on the list is just because I think I just kind of like the other characters more than him. I kind of relate to the other characters more than I relate to ZANE. But ZANE does have a really interesting, in-depth story that I think anyone who would watch it, as soon as they actually heard what the story actually was and saw the story before their eyes, they would actually realize that at least in the early seasons of Ninjago, this show wasn't just a kid show. There's a lot of appreciation that I have for ZANE's story. So what is ZANE's story? ZANE, his story truly is just a story of just finding out himself. Figuring himself out, finding out where he belongs. And I really do like that. Now, he's actually a nindroid. He started off kind of a strange, you know, now that he's part of the ninja group, he's got to act like a brother, but he's never really had a brother. And the other ninja kind of realized that when it comes to everyone else, he seems to be the odd man out. He's not really normal. And pretty soon, eventually, he finds a connection with this bird that he doesn't even understand why. And eventually, all he has for memory is he knows that he had a dad, doesn't even know his own mom. He knows that he had a dad, and he hopes to eventually find him and discover who or what he really is. Again, I say what because eventually he finds out that he is a robot, an android. a nindroid, if you will. Imagine that. Imagine going your whole life thinking you're real, thinking you're alive, and then finding out that you're actually a robot. That would just be insane. And then after finding out what you're a robot, you gotta kind of question yourself, and he does. He questions whether or not this means that he actually is someone real, if he does actually care about his friends, if he does actually have real feelings. He does actually ask those very interesting questions, and it's that Tin Man, does the Tin Man have a heart situation? Of course, Zane, he's highly a highly modified technical robot, right? I mean, he does have a switch that turns on and off his feelings and everything like that, but he does have something else. Something that actually means a lot to the fans of Ninjago. He has a soul, and he has a power source that's unexplained. He has a soul. That's what powers him. He has a soul. And that's something that's really great when you look at him. That's something I really like about his character. And it's a soul that creates his personality. Sure, there's a lot of the times throughout the show where they kind of make fun at the fact that he's a nindroid. And being an android, sometimes he'll activate like a pirate mode or do something funny with them. I actually really prefer it. They do that a lot later on in the seasons when he gets less focus. But during at least the first 4 seasons of Ninjago, especially season 3, he has a lot of focus, and he became easily a fan favorite, and I can easily see why. Now, you gotta remember, when I was first watching Ninjago, I was already in high school, about to graduate, and I pretty much just had the show on for background noise, and I barely paid attention to it. But eventually, when I went back and watched it as an adult, again, Lloyd was always my favorite character, but I must admit this, there was a time that I would have probably said my favorite character was Zane, for just how in-depth his story truly is. And then eventually he meets Pixel. Now Pixel is a really interesting character too. She's a robot, she's a nindroid, she at the time doesn't really have a soul, she just understands what she needs to do, but Zane kind of falls in love with her, finally meeting someone that could be similar to her, but she is not powered the same way he is. He actually, unlike her, basically has a soul. That's why I get down to it. The mystery power that powers him that will never be explained within the show itself, I say is a soul. That is my theory. Even though he's a robot, even though he's a droid, he has a soul, and that's actually really great. And eventually, he shares that power with Pixel. Pixel eventually becomes something more than just a robot. Same with Zane, and that's great that those two, you have that connection. And eventually, Pixel, the whole situation with Pixel in the later seasons, like, it's really funny, because she pretty much becomes Friday for Iron Man, for the ninja, basically, or Jarvis for Iron Man, except for the ninja. She's basically just the computer behind the screen telling them what to do. Now, it was cool that she eventually became Weapon X, finding Nia's old stash of weapons. I thought that was cool. It kept her within the fights, but really, I didn't really think much of Pixel's character until I saw, hilariously, season 12 with wait, what is that season called? Season 12 or 13, the Prime Empire season. Now, granted, while I do not like the Prime Empire that much, I find the whole storyline very similar to what happened with Season 3 and the Overlord. However, I will admit this, Pixel having that one line, granted she's not a large part of the season or anything, but when she comes in and tells the maker of the game that anything he makes can indeed grow into something else, grow into a soul. If you put your blood, sweat, tears, as well as your soul yourself, it can overgrow and make your project take on a life of its own. I really liked that lesson. I really liked that message, and it was really great to hear that from Pixel, knowing what she's been through and knowing what Zane's been through. And of course, in season 16, it was really cute and sweet that she finally confessed her feelings for Zane when she thought Zane was dead. With that said, that's all my thoughts when it comes to the character of Pixel and Zane. I really do enjoy these two characters. The only reason why Zane isn't even higher on my list in terms of the 6 ninja, he's my second least favorite, is just because I just find the other stories a little bit more, I don't know, interesting, but maybe it's just because I haven't paid much attention to the earlier seasons, which were the story of Zane and Pixel itself. Now, again, the earlier seasons of Ninjago, a lot of people say are really childish. I actually think if you actually read between the lines and you actually watch the story of Zane, if you take on the first 3 seasons at least, not as the story of Lloyd and Garmadon and the golden weapons, if you actually just look at the story as Zane's story, you'll actually find that it's actually a lot more adult than you might have thought originally. That's why I really enjoyed the first few seasons of Ninjago. With that said, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the nindroid? What are your favorite moments of our favorite nindroid, Zane? And I really appreciate what they did with him in season 16. He didn't get a lot of focus, but what we had of him was fun. With that said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts about Zane down in the comments below, and I am out for now. Bye.